Hey everyone, welcome back to another Elden Ring video. I hope that everybody is having an absolutely fantastic day and hope that you guys are enjoying playing Elden Ring so far. But in today's video, I want to go over probably one of the best possible sorceries that are in the game, and honestly it acts like an incantation as well, because it not only requires intelligence, but it also requires faith to go ahead and use. I want to tell you guys how you can go ahead and obtain this ridiculously powerful sorcery. I want to tell you how to make it even that much more powerful and show you guys some of the enemies that I've been able to take down using this. So we're going to change a little bit of our Wondrous Physick round, and I'm going to show you guys what talisman that I recommend that you guys go ahead and use. And if you have any recommendations for other people, by all means, go ahead and leave a comment down below, because we want to be able to help other people out so they can do ridiculous amounts of damage, and maybe I just missed something. But anyway, we're going to be talking about the sorcery Rykard's Rancor. Now, this is going to be obtained from defeating Rykard, obviously, but we're not talking about Rancors in Star Wars. We're talking about a spell in Elden Ring. So once you go ahead and defeat Rykard, you're going to come back to the Round Table Hold, and then go ahead and bring that back to the Two-Finger area, and you can go ahead and reclaim a remembrance. You have two choices. You have Rykard's Rancor, which is obviously the spell that we're looking at, or you can turn it in to get Blasphemous Blade. Either one is up to you. My first playthrough, I chose the Blade, and then the second time I tried this one, and I decided to check it out, and I really like it, and I have been using it for about a day and a half, and I love this thing so far. So anyway, let's go ahead and kind of talk about how to make this thing even that much more ridiculous. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Wondrous Physick mix right here. And there's two temporary boosts that we can go ahead and use, just because it requires, it's a fire, but it's also a spell, so it's magic and fire. But we can temporarily boost our fire and magic abilities with different cracked tiers. So we got the flame, and we also have the magic. I also want to be able to tell you guys where you can find these. Now, if you guys consume this, the Wondrous Physick mix lasts for about 10 seconds or so. So you will increase total damage by 40%. It's 20% for both fire and magic attacks. So 40% in total without even adding any more talisman, which is absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and kind of talk about where you can go ahead and obtain these. Now, as far as the fire one goes, you're going to find it at this Erd tree here in Caelid, and you just defeat the boss in this area, and you're going to be able to get two variations of different Wondrous Physick mix boosting abilities. You're going to come down in this area. Don't jump off this. You're going to die if you do that, but there's some guardians along the path. Make sure that you actually take them out prior, because it seems like they like to sneak up behind you while you're fighting them. But obviously, if you're using your spirit summons, it will help you out anyway. Now, as far as the magic one is concerned, it's in Lunaria, and it's going to be found at this Erd tree right here. So just a little bit north of the Artist Shack, or a little bit south of the Frenzy Flaming Tower, which likes to cause madness on you, which I absolutely hated that place both times that I've played this thing so far. So anyway, you can obtain that by killing the boss in that area. Now, obviously, there's two different scepters that you can go ahead and use, or staffs that you can use. You can use either Lasat's, or you can use the one that you can obtain from Raya Lucaria from defeating Vanala. And that's the one that I am using. You can get a little bit of damage boost from Lasat's, but it's an additional 35 or 50% cost to the FP, and it is a 35 casting cost already on that specific spell. If we take a look at it right here, then you can see that it's 35. So I don't really want to go ahead and have it cost like 52 or 53 FP every time that we're going to use it, because a majority of people that probably are even spec'd into intelligence probably don't even have a ton of magic anyway overall. And I can only use this, and I have a lot of magic in my build, and I can only cast it like 3 or 4 times, and that's it when I'm using a Lasat. So at least with the Icarian Regal Scepter, we can actually use it a few times, and its intelligence requirements is at 40, but if you are using the Regal Scepter, then you've already probably spec'd that out on your character, and its attributes is 60. You also do need a faith requirement of 18 to be able to effectively wield the Reichard's Rancor. So make sure that you guys go ahead and do that. So obviously it releases searing spirits that repeatedly explode after delay, which you saw earlier in the video, and I absolutely love this spell. Now, as far as the talisman that I'm using, I'm going to talk about 5, but one of them I don't have, so I'm going to kind of talk about that one first, and that is the variation of this one, but instead of the fire, it's the magic scorpion charm. Now, this one, the fire or the magic scorpion charm, you'll get that from a portion inside of Ranni's quest line, which I didn't do the first time that I did the quest line. I didn't know about it. I do now, and you're going to have to obtain something from the underground city. When you obtain that, instead of going right back to Ranni, you're going to want to go and talk to Selvis at his tower first. So if you guys need more information on that specific quest line in order to obtain that, then by all means go ahead and do a search here on YouTube to be able to find that. I don't have a guide because I didn't fully finish it, but it is a very lengthy quest line, so just be well aware of that. So that does increase your magic attack by 12%, but it also lowers your damage negation. Just like the Fire Scorpion charm, it raises the fire attack. But if you have both of these charms on you, you're going to have a ton of damage negation to you if you decide to actually wield both of them. So they might not be the best situation all the time. You have both of them, so you might want to pick and choose. But I really don't know which one I would choose, to be 100% honest. Probably magic, because I am more magic based and I have other spells that I'm using, but that's just me. So anyway, as far as the fire charm goes, you're going to get that right next to where the Volcano Manor is at Fort here. So you're going to come inside this area, and then you're going to make your way up to the top, and then just go to the ledge, and then jump over the ledge onto a little balcony area, and there'll be a body or a corpse that will be hanging over that edge, and then you can go ahead and pick up your Fire Scorpion charm. Now, the next one is a little bit interesting. It's the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia. You're not going to be able to get this until you get to pretty much endgame of Elden Ring, but it greatly raises the attack power with successive attacks. Now, there is a version of this insignia that you can go ahead and get earlier, but it does not do as much damage in successive attacks. Now, this does start at about 6% and goes up to about 22%. The exact numbers aren't probably there, and depending on the weapons that are being used, it might kind of change those numbers slightly. So it's a rough estimate, but it actually goes in different stages, and it raises by about 4% each time it has a successive attack. So 6, 10, 14, 18, 22%, roughly in those areas. Now, you're going to have to do Millicent's quest line, and this, again, is another pretty long quest line as well. It's a lot of back and forth, and you have to go to different locations around the map just to kind of help her out if this is something that you want to be able to participate in. Now, at the very end, you're going to have to go up to the Halig Tree, which is going to be accessed from the secret area in the mountaintops of the Giants, so you will eventually have to get up into this area. Now, you will have to talk to Millicent in this area somewhere. It's like right in this area or right in this area. She's going to be located at a church. And then eventually you have to deal with a tree creature. My least favorite creatures in the entire game. I absolutely hate them. They're a little bit overpowered even when you are a higher level. I just don't like them at all. But once you defeat that, you'll have an option to go ahead and either assist Millicent or go ahead and challenge her, and if you accept and assist her, then you'll be rewarded with the Rotten Sword Insignia if that's something you choose. You will get a gift or an item if you challenge her, but if you want that specific one, then you need to make sure that you accept it and help her out. I'm just going to go ahead and show you where the next one is at, just because we're up here in the mountaintops of the Giants anyway, and that's going to be the Graven-Mass talisman that you're going to obtain from the Elden Rise right here. Now, this one does have a sealed seal on it, so you do have to get through it. Basically, you have to get the two imps to go ahead and kill each other. There's different ways that you can do it. The way that I did it is I used the spirit summons the two imps in order to actually fight, and that seemed to have worked. As soon as I used both of those imps on each other, the seal broke, and then I was able to get the Mass Engraved Talisman. Now, that one will actually boost your entire sorcery by 8% right at this location. There is a lower level of that, but it's only a 4% boost, which I would recommend using other talisman before that one. But if you are pretty new to the game and you happen to have Rykard's Rancor and you want to try it out for yourself, by all means use what you have in order to increase the most amount of damage that you possibly can. So the next one on our list is going to be the Ritual Sword Talisman. Now this is one that I'm not 100% sure if I want to keep on this list. Again, if you guys have recommendations, but it's the one that I felt like is going to be really good. So if you can maintain being at full HP, especially like on a sneak attack to a big creature, then you can do a ridiculous amount of damage. Now this does increase your overall damage by 10% while you are at full health. So you want to make sure that you're not really putting anything on you that will actually pull away from your HP bar. So whatever your max is, in my case I'm at 1805, make sure that you stay at 1805. So that's just where you want to stay at. But there might be other abilities and whatnot. Unfortunately, with a lot of the attacks against some of the big boys that I was going against and trying to get and testing this with, especially like the big one from up in the mountaintops of the giants where there's a creature that constantly moves around, it's not always viable to be at full HP, so you're automatically losing that 10%. But between the Wondrous Physick and all of these, potentially you could get up to, you're looking 24, 32, 72, about 90%, a little bit more than 90% damage boost to its effectiveness. And plus you could also go ahead and use Lasat's scepter or staff if you want to. But I feel like this one isn't really viable with this one just because the cost is already 35, unless you have a ton of PDUs like I do. But I still feel like I'm using my whole FP bar to bring down an entire boss. But I guess that's okay. Going through one FP bar, killing a boss, I guess is not that bad in the long run. But hopefully this information does help you guys out, and if it does, make sure that you guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down below. It would really help me out a lot and is greatly appreciated. And if you want to support the channel, make sure you guys go ahead and donate, and that stuff is listed in the description down below. But until next time, YouTube, you guys keep doing what you're doing because you're already doing it, and you guys stay gaming.